Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah and today I'm going to share with you a flip through of two journals that I recently completed. These journals are part of a collection of journals that I've made for this month. These two have a similar theme to them, which is haberdashery, and then I will show you in another video because it's going to take too long if I do the flip for the four journals. I will have also these soft covers journals that I made, and there are also two of these, and so flip through is coming just next this video, I believe. I'm just going to start and start by saying that these are hard covers. So it was actually really simple to kind of create the covers, because these are actually like book covers. So they're made out of very thick cardboard. And so here I had a very long and narrow one, and this one is more like I would say a normal type of cover size. And so what I did is just took out the spine of the books, and then I used two layers of fabrics. So the one that is outside the cover is actually, well, they're both very old, but this one is more like a floral type of fabric. And some of these fabrics I got from Sylviane at Bleu d'Orage, and I will be sure to link her Instagram down below. I also have, because this piece was a little short, I had this other one collaged on top, and then so the book covers are just covered with some collaged elements, and these came from a book that I have, and I'm going to show you. It's called La Famille, and so there were a lot of pages that only had writing, and you know, I have the whole book, so it's a collection of magazines, and so I took some pages off and just collaged with some for the both covers. Yeah, I added on the sides, like this one, like on the cover and on the back. Here it's also, you also have a piece like this on the front and on the back. And actually these were parts of an of an old box that I thrifted once. And because I'm just keeping everything, I always think there's a way I can reuse stuff. So it was just, you know, the sides of a box, and I just decided to create a sort of, with this golden edge, I just created this border and attached it with some vintage brads. So I'm going to start with this first one, which is the tall one. And so what I did is just added this one is vintage, I believe. Yeah, it's from 36. It's a receipt. And we have also this, this is a, a photo postcard. But it's actually really thick, and it's Italian. This pretty girl, I believe it is. And here there's a bit of lace that is attached to the fabric. There are two signatures in each. Here's the back. And I did collage this with some PVA glue, some neutral pH, Lineco PVA glue. And what else? I have this antique mother. Also, I forgot to mention that I added a ball pin here, and this is a little needle holder. So you can, I just added a little piece of paper. Yeah, this is antique. Okay, so opening it up, here we have, on this cover, we have this pin here. You can remove that and add something, you know, the date, your name, whatever. And these are authentic fabric sample swatches. So I just pinned this one to this paper here with some old, you know, yeah, it's a pin, it's not a needle. But you know, they used to attach documents like so back in the days. And I actually have a box of these that I found when thrifting, and so I'm using them a lot to attach documents now. There's not a lot left already. But yeah, you see a lot of these vintage prints throughout both journals. We have a postcard that is raised. Don't know if you can see, the little details are raised, and this is an antique postcard. A little bit of seam binding here. The pages are throughout, you'll see they are authentic, vintage. And well, I guess you can recognize this beautiful design. It is from Ruby and Pearl, and I just printed that onto some very thin paper. I'll just clip some little notes. And actually, there's a story behind these books, or more like a theme that I wanted to center the books around. And it is, I wanted these books to be like a sample book, like where you can put, you know, samples of your favorite fabrics or trims, or, you know, just like a collector's book where you can add some of your favorite haberdashery, you know, items, and where you can collage as well. I added some elements for you to play with. This is a vintage wallpaper and has some nice texture and some bits of papers to collage with. So this page, we have a little pocket here. This was part of this book that I showed you, La Famille. It had some embroidery, like sample illustrations, and I just cut out some and backed it with some very thin paper, like packaging tissue paper. And I got this idea from Cynthia. And we have these calling cards. Well, actually, all the calling cards that you're gonna see throughout the journals come from Cassie at Dusty Roses. She has a kit with beautiful calling cards. Okay, I will just attach everything when I'm done filming. This is a vintage ephemera piece. So here I attached some sample. So these I did cut myself and put them in the journal. But of course throughout you will be able to put your own samples. This is a ticket from Printanier. Again, added some laces and some eyelet trim here. And you have here a little, again, sample collage images that I took from this antique magazine. This is a series of, it's just a few pages that I got from La Femme Chez Elle. It's a women's magazine, a vintage one. I believe it's from the 50s. Anyways, there's that. And on this side, everything, I tried to make it very cohesive in the theme. So like all the papers that you can see will be related to haberdashery and sewing in some ways. So this was a textile business document, and same is for this one. It's for clothing. This is a bloating paper that came into you know, one of those calendars, beautiful calendars from Le Magasin du Louvre. Here we have, this is actually a real calling card, French calling card, and this is one from Cassie. Oh, and this is a piece from one of the Heather's Ruby and Pearl digital, and I just printed that onto some, grid paper. So I think it was on the other side, but we'll see later. On this side we have these, there are lots of feminine related ephemera as well. So we have an antique postcard and these two beautiful ladies. Here we have, this is a flower that I dried, and we have a bit of inspiration, ephemera, like writing card. That's a Vogue image. And here I just took one of those, how do you call these? Well, you can see it's like to sort, kind of. And I thought it could be nice if you want to sort, like your fabric samples or your like lace samples and stuff like that. And you could use those dividers, that's the name, I think. And I just added this little piece of lace, and you can see it's a rose. And then we have another illustration from that antique book, La Famille. A little bit of collage here, and we have a beautiful painting from Manet. I just love the colors of this one. And this is a needle case, as you can see, and inside this little pouch there are some goodies. Okay, I think I will add more to this. I think I forgot, but this is something that reminded me of, a sample, like a photograph of samples, and I made it into a journaling card. And we have this linen thread swole. And then some journaling card and a bit of advertisement from this antique book again. We'll have some sections to write, and that's not the only section that is available for writing. A page from La Famille with those beautiful monograms, embroidery monograms. Big journaling card, and I just attached a piece from this magazine Mode et Travaux, a few pieces for your journaling, and especially if you have some samples, you can glue that down and then write what it is, where it comes from. If it has a date, you can add it as well. And this is those beautiful printables from Sampo. So I just added a little piece of lace trim, fabric lace. This is the center of the first signature, and I feel it's gonna take forever again. I'm so sorry, guys. This is like a vintage envelope, and I just added this advertisement from the calendar book Les Grands Magasins du Louvre, so you can actually tuck something inside. That's the other side of this writing section. A bit of a lace trim. This is part of Sampo's digitals. And here we have one of Cassie's digital, and these are from her fashion magazine. And we have a little piece of ephemera. And this one, I wish I had more of these like real ephemera, but this one is a copy from Sampo, and you can write on the back. An vintage French ephemera and envelope, and inside you have the original business document. I just love this color with the pinks. This is a journaling card, well, actually a fabric sample from one of Sampo's digital kit, and so is this button card that I backed with a pretty heavy paper, so you can actually attach your buttons if you want to. Inside this envelope, oh, I just added some additional pieces for you to write and attach your samples onto. This is a piece that I printed from my own kind of digital collection. I just like that it came out a little bit pink, like with this soft pink, so I added this one. And we have a photo of a lady. A little bit of vintage trim. This one is pretty old actually. It's really fine. Then this is a printable from Sampool, and we have here another printable, and this is a very old piece. It's really beautiful and well made. It's a silver thread lace trim. We have a vintage postcard, and then I embossed this piece of this book page actually with this advertisement for a perfume. But I thought the lady was pretty like stylish. This is a cutout from the large magazine Femina, and then we have those magazine pages, a little bit of just some page cutout for you to journal with, not journal, collage with. And this is a beautiful flocked, it's actually velvet, antique postcard. We have this lady here, and this is something I made for you. So I have a collection of these little, linen trims. I don't know how you call that. But I just wanted to add the small collection here for you. This is a printable from Sampool, and I just added this little thread card if you want to add something. This is also from my collection, and here we have a pocket, or a tuck spot, I mean, and just some beautiful illustration to cut out, and a little journaling card here. Here you can add some samples and write the description here. And this is the second signature. So you have here, this is an antique, well, you can see, I don't know the name in English again. And there's a little, like a little pack of goodies. This is also vintage, trim cards, so you can add yours. This is a vintage plain card. And actually on this book page, I tore this part here because it has some samples of fabrics and, with different textures and colors. So I thought it was nice to add that. On this side I made this little journaling card here. This is some silk ribbon. It's really fine and pretty. We have an old postcard, and she's actually showing her daughter how to knit, I believe. Some fashion ladies. This is some journaling space for you, and we have this one is really old actually. It doesn't look very old when you see it like this, but it comes from it's very old lace. It's really pretty. Here I added a few ledger pages for you to enjoy. These are French, and I just, these are taken from different books. So you have different patina and different writing style. Here's a piece of a gorgeous, fabric sample, so that you can use in your journal or into other projects. This is just some collage piece for you, and this is also one of mine, my printable, and I just like that it came out a little bit pink, and I just added this really fine embroidered handkerchief, and also I added some, you know, these tissue paper on the back just to make it a little more precious. This is a beautiful and very brittle illustration from La Mode Illustrée, which is another antique French women's magazine. Okay, not this side. I'll put that back later. And a vintage paper doily, very pretty and fine. This was a leftover from this box trim side. So I just added a brad here, and you could remove it or attach things to that. There's another journaling section here with some gray textured paper. In the middle of the last signature. And just some vintage book page from Le Journal des Demoiselles. Here I'm not going to open this, but you will see in the other one. There are some mother of pearl and white vintage buttons for you to play with. And then some journaling paper and a piece of pattern for you to collage with as well. This is a calling card from Cassie. The other side of this journaling section, so you have like 4 pages here. This is another divider that I collaged, but you can actually write the section, the name section, the section's name. This is an authentic ephemera, sorry. And so is this little piece here that came from a sample card. And this is one of Sample's printables, so it was so small I thought I would, instead of backing it, I would place this negative photograph, and it doesn't have any image on, so I thought it was nice. And more advertisement. This is a vintage thread spool, another of Sample's sample card, and I just added this sorry piece here. This is also a journaling card from, or fabric sample, digital image, I should say, from Sample. A page from Les Grands Magasins du Louvre calendar. So you can actually write on the back, but it's really, really fragile, just so you know. And then writing space, and we're coming near the end. This is a handmade envelope. I'm not gonna take this off. Some writing pages here, and little tuck spot in this vintage paper you can write on as well. I'm just going to take a little break because the weather is really bad, so I may do the flip through of the other one in another video, we'll see, but I'm just going to take a break. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this journal, and I will be back for the flip through of the second one.